How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I ended up getting 2 bases unlocked. Although I thought nearly I wasn't going to be able to do a video, but my internet was playing up. It's a bit of a weird one. It was Steam wouldn't work, but YouTube would play. But my TV also stopped playing Amazon, but my phone would still play YouTube. Here I am, clicking on YouTube. It's the video. See, it's when it loaded up. This is what it recommended me. I was like, well, I don't know why that one's on there, but turnaround is fair play. I'll have to investigate what that is. This was for science. This was to prove that my internet was working, but Steam wasn't connecting.
What is a turnaround?
That's a great question. Best watch this entire video.
Call them shutdowns, outages,
and then she just keeps talking. I don't call them shutdowns. I wish you'd get them out. I've seen this video about 40 times and I still don't know what a turnaround is. It made my dick turn around. I didn't realise my dick had a neck until I saw this video. And then yeah, look, when I came back onto Steam, error 118, thought it was taking the piss. And then I refreshed it and it went to error, was it 105? Like, what the hell? But yeah, as you can see, YouTube was working. Perfect video I recommended, of course. For anyone wondering, her name is J. Morgan Alvarez. I swear I only saw her name once in the comments years ago. I don't know, something about it. Couldn't forget the name. Yeah, and then it said no connection at the bottom of Steam. This lasted about half an hour. And then it just suddenly connected. But the weird thing is, if my internet went out, obviously the PC wouldn't work, my TV wouldn't work if I'm on Amazon, and my phone would stop. But like I said, Steam didn't work, but YouTube did, but my TV didn't work, so the fact that the TV and Steam wasn't working, two separate things, kind of implies that it was internet related, but then YouTube was still working on the PC and my phone, which implies it wasn't internet related. So I don't know, I've never had kind of half and half go out like that, but thankfully it eventually came back on. Yeah, so I thought tonight I'll get one of these. Well, at first just get one of the bases unlocked. I realised when I was going to be driving over here that I'm going to have to do something about that, which I was thinking, if I can get the base unlocked, I'll have vehicles nearby that I could spawn. Oh yeah, and then another thing, by the way, it stole my bridge. This bridge layer had a bridge on it yesterday. It's in the video. It drowned in the water at some point, but as I poured sand, it got out, like, raised up out the water enough to where I was able to drive it out. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the game has literally stole a bridge off me. I checked, the other bridges that I've laid down around the map haven't gone, and then that bridge layer you just saw in the yard there, that was the one I originally jumped off the bridge that was on the pile of sand. I was trying to do like a pile of sand under the bridge yesterday, so I ended up recalling that. But first, I was setting the mule off because to unlock the forest base, apologies, I've not even tracked the mission yet, I need 3 steel beams and 3 concrete slabs. And someone was saying in the comments a couple of different locations where there was some slabs. So yeah, I thought, right, sod it, I may as well get that done, because I actually do want, like, there's no point in going too far through the game before unlocking a base, because obviously, like, I remember I didn't do it on purpose, but it was back on, might be Incommunicado, and I think one of the last things I did on the entire map was unlock a base that was at the top of the hill near the steel, the scrapyard, I think it was actually, or there's probably a steel pipes facility there. Yeah, so it's just sort of wasted the entire garage at that point, because obviously when I unlocked it I'd completed that map. Yeah, so I wanted to get them done sooner rather than later. And to be fair, this map, it's a little bit awkward getting around, but it makes you build this road I'm driving along now. It, as near as makes no difference, makes you build a road that I built back there to help the semi-truck get to a destination. And then obviously it's made me lay 1 or 2 of the roads. I'm now just flying into the what do you call it, steel beams facility quickly, grab 3 of them. I've already got about 17 stashed away. And then I also built this road, which it didn't force me to do or anything, but yeah, again, the fact that there's enough sand quarries on this map just makes it like less of a pain in the arse to actually lay roads in the first place. I actually managed as well. Funnily enough, I didn't mention it, but it's for yesterday's video where I was pouring that sand off the bridge. I actually got the sand scalper thing to deploy on the other side of the bridge. It only took me like a minute as well, which is pretty rare for that bloody thing. Yeah, so this is like the long fat road I built the other day. You can see little patches because the paver was just being a twat and I couldn't be bothered to keep going back to make it neat, it'll do. It was better than the road that was there to begin with. And then it kind of links onto another road it made me build as part of a mission. So now I get to this point through this village, whatever it is. And then that massive hole is where the semi-truck, there was just a semi-truck parked in it. I used the loaf to drag it out there and get it to where it needs to go. Almost fell in there myself. Thankfully not quite. What was I going to say? I can't remember now. But yeah, I was saying about the internet, like, that's weird that it's kind of half blocked some things but not others. Because originally when I loaded the game up it said cannot link or sync it to the cloud or something, and then it was saying if I play the game it might like corrupt my save or something, and I might not be able to reload it. So obviously I was thinking like, well, I'm not going to risk it at that point, because even if I was able to get the footage, I think in theory if it didn't save and then I quit the game, when I load it up tomorrow, it'd basically undo all my progress, I assume, and I'd be back to where like I've got a load more missions to do. So yeah, it wasn't really worth it. But then yeah, for whatever reason, eventually it just, at the bottom of Steam it said no connection, and then all of a sudden it just came back. After getting the mule, I got it as far as that pipe, and then I thought, well, there's two options again. It's either lay sand or bring a bridge layer. I started driving for a good several seconds with the bridge layer and realised it'd take bloody ages. So I decided, I had a buy called near-ish buy that had made me build a road earlier. So yeah, I figured like it'd just be quicker to drive that down here. I did kind of eyeball this situation with the bridge layer. I don't think like you'd necessarily get it perfectly flush anyway, because it obviously sits like whatever shape the terrain's in, it's going to lean left or right or whatever. I think the chances of you getting it like perfectly neat across there are probably more hassle than it's worth anyway. And yeah, at that point I thought, sod it. You're within the radius of a sand quarry here, so you don't have to drive off or anything to get sand. Some bad driving on my part. I do adjust that a little bit later and get the road a little bit more flush and all the rest of it, but it was just as a quick patch job to get this thing over here so I can actually get to the what's it called, forest base, I think this one is. And then yeah, someone had said there was some slabs at the side here, which I had it on good authority there was 3, but there was only 2. But to be fair, it could have also glitched, because these were glitched into each other and then they started flapping around like a butterfly. The only time I've seen that, I thought, oh well, there goes one then, and then it landed back there. But another one like could have glitched at some point and flew off God knows where. Yeah, but I only got 2 from there, so I had to go back to, it's where we had to grab 2 like generator pump things, and there's another 2 stashed under there. Like I said, I still appreciate the info, and again, I don't doubt that there could be 3 there, because it was on I can't remember what map. It might have been Deluge. I had a pile of concrete slabs and they glitched and absolutely flew across the map. And I mean, I watched them in real time. To be honest, I don't know if I've still got the footage. I'll have to see if I can find it, but that'll be a bit of a toughie, but I might be able to track it down. If I look on YouTube what date that video was made, then I should be able to sort of roughly find it if I've still got it. I do delete sort of older footage I've saved on here though, just to free up. Soon, it's pretty mad how quick I use up like 2 terabytes of memory. Even though it's pretty decent, yeah, it still uses it up like before long. Yeah, so again, I've witnessed it myself, like concrete slabs glitching and flying off literally across the map. So there is a chance there was 3 there at some point. But yeah, as well, they let me know there's another 2 under there, which are just needlessly awkward to get out of there for no apparent reason. It does seem like you might be able to go around the other side and move the cargo containers, but that would be a lot of effort just to get 2 slabs out of there, so I prefer my method. Cross over there and into the base. Once it's got all 6 items in there, it just unlocks it, set up a new base of operations in the forest. That's got 1 in the bag. And then I actually unlocked these missions yesterday. There's just quickly neatening it up, like where I've built that sort of makeshift road across the pipe. It just seems like a I don't know, it's going to be a bit of a high traffic area, especially now I've got a forest base there. But there's a 3 or 4 times already on this map where it's got to the point where it's like, oh, I sort of need to cross over that pipe really. And then this mission, it was a bit confusing at first. I suppose it's like, it just says active source to the tunnel exit base. I suppose it's kind of your own free will where you get the electric from, as long as it's an active source. But there's obviously a red zone there under the clouds. But then the zone next to it is also red. So I've kind of got to pass it through 2 zones, which again is like, yeah, fair enough. I wish it'd be a little bit more, like when you click on the mission, it doesn't even drag you over, I don't think, to like the base that it wants you to do. By the way, I think that sign is too close to the road. I'd hit that if that was near me. Maybe not even on purpose. Blame that petrol station. Yeah, at this point my cat was running around. If you can guess when he jumped up on the keyboard, probably about now. So yeah, I went and binned it into a hillside. The other part of the mission was deliver this vehicle. So there's deliver this and then connect up the electricity. And I more thought I'll do this one, including delivering this. Oh yeah, and then you can probably guess when he jumped down and nearly trod on my keyboard again. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Picks his moments. Because the tunnel exit base that I'm heading to is sort of still buried in the clouds, and one, I kind of figured, well, sod it, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get another base up and running while I'm at it. But secondly, this worst case will go into the clouds, and best case, once I unlock the base, it'll kind of uncover a chunk of clouds in the bottom left of the map. So I kind of used the same route I did, I think it was yesterday, when I used the loaf and dragged the semi-truck. It just seems the best option. Once you get to that, like that road it's forced me to build that I just crossed over there, it kind of leads, I suppose there might be a mission at some point, but it sort of leads into nowhere. It's a bit of a dead end. But then cutting through these 2 little forest patches, you basically pop out on this, not this road, this is one of them, now cut through the next bit of forest, and you pop out where I had to deliver like the communication network things, like to move some rocks out of the way on the road. And I don't know, that seems like another sort of high traffic area, and this seems to cut through and connect up quite nicely. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. Blame that turnaround video. Gets me every time. Yeah, and then these are the 2 piles of rocks that I had to move out of the way. It's what the semi-truck kept tipping here yesterday. I don't really know why, because relatively speaking it's a pretty flat bit of terrain, and there's kind of rocks at the side that you'd think if it's going to tip it can kind of bump off them, but for whatever reason it was not liking it. Speed up a little bit past there's a main power station, which is where I'm going to have to bring the electric to or from for this base. Going to drive through here, quickly realise, like, damn, the boggy, muddy sections in this game feel like they've been sort of dialed up a bit. It's sort of more reminiscent of SnowRunner with the super mud and all the rest of it. Unless this vehicle just sucks, but not that I care. Like, it's what it is. Obviously, on this map in particular, they seem to have made the mud a bit more awkward than normal. And then now, to be honest, I could have gone up a flatter part of the hill, but because I had the little marker I wanted to drive through, I chose this option, which, and then look at the gearbox, like, Jesus Christ, I can feel myself getting older. Keeps just sort of going into first, and then attempting second, then giving up, then rolling back, then going back into first. Did that like 3 or 4 times, just going up that tiny bit of hill. Then yeah, I was like, oh no, there's a solid wall kind of around the edge, but I managed to see a bit of fence through the trees. Good. That'll do. I might just build a road out here at some point, because it already seems like the best option for leaving this forest base at the minute, but obviously it kind of leads into nowhere, into those trees really. Some weird noise in my headphone then, I don't know if that was actually on the video. Yeah, so that's that part done, and then there's no easy way around it really. I was pretty certain there was going to be no active source of electricity somewhere there in the corner. I was going to use the vehicle, and I was like, oh shit, it was a deliver the vehicle, so once I drove it into the zone it vanished, but I was going to use that to quickly drive into the corner. But yeah, long story short, I was like, well, I'm going to need a cable layer, and I had to set it off from like the starting base on this game. Really, it took me about 7 or 8 minutes to drive over it. Not terrible, but I pretty much cut it out because just slow driving, knocking trees over and cutting through a forest. You could barely see anything on the screen other than dense trees, and if you go in first person mode you can just see the giant spool on the front of that vehicle. Yeah, so I mean it doesn't matter which way you go, so instead of driving it to the active zone and cutting back to the garage, or just starting from the garage, I can go down the hill that way and then basically connect up those 2 red zones and then bring it to the active zone. And then I think, yeah, there's another mission soon to take it over to that. A different mission, but at least I'll have the cable layer in the right place at that point. So I definitely recommend starting the cable layer from here, preferably. Funnily enough, as I was driving down this hill, I was thinking to myself, well, I'm surprised they haven't put bloody tree stumps everywhere to make it more awkward. And literally as I finished saying that in my own head, it's like, yep, there we go. Knew there'd be somewhere. So at this point, I just need the line that I'm digging to kind of touch this inactive zone, so it'll... I mean, it won't acknowledge that it's connected up because they're both not powered at the minute, but I was like, right, that's sufficiently in. That's what she said. So yeah, skip that zone, go around the end, but still managed to hit a stupid... One of those little tree stumps, they're even more insulting than hitting the big ones. At least if you hit a big one, you're like, fair enough. That probably would stop me. The little twigs sticking out would stop you. It's like, go all Greta Thunberg on it, like, how dare you. Yeah, so to the other side of the zone, because obviously there's no point in laying a cable through that entire zone anyway. And to be fair, pretty easy mission. Like, the most difficult bit was probably those tree stumps, but I managed to circle around them for the most part. Get to here, and obviously the game took a second or two to say complete. It obviously, like, connected up to the first electric and then realised that, oh, that now passes over to the base. Yeah, bit of a honking of the horn. So that's them 2 connected up, and like I say, I'm now in a good spot for doing a different mission that wants another bit of cable setting up. And locked a different mission, but whatever. Spawning a vehicle here. There's a look at my new base. So yeah, I've now got 3 bases in total on the map, which is handy as far as like different locations to spawn vehicles. And I was actually going to do another mission, and then it'd already done it about 3 times a few minutes prior. The frame rate went to about 10 FPS, and I was like, sod it. That's me sign to quit while I'm ahead. Yeah, 46% through. I think, was it like 40 or 43? Yes, I don't know. It seems to be counting slower at the minute for whatever reason. 14 out of 32, so yeah, I suppose they're not quite halfway, to be fair. Bases unlocked is 56 out of 56 now, so at least that's that one in the bag. Yeah, I think that's all done for today. That's about as far as I got, but pretty handy getting those 2 bases unlocked. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf because he's a whopper, and I'll be back soon.